I need a motion that we approve the agenda for tonight.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Have a motion that we approve, the minutes from the July 2nd, 2026 meeting and the minutes from the July 23rd, 2026 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes from the July 2nd, 2026 and the July 23rd, 2026 meeting.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the financial docket, including, docket claims numbers, 59034 to 59228. Also includes administrative docket, school activity funds, and the financial statement. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the financial docket to, include district docket claims number 59034, 59228, administrative docket, school activity funds, and the financial statement.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Motion carried. Brings us to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion that we approve the consent agenda, including items A, B, and C?
Motion to approve the consent agenda, item A, B, and C.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Dr. Smith, that brings us to new business.
All right, thank you. Before we get into business, we do have one presentation that Carolyn Martin has asked to make tonight. She is, of course, our, very well, I guess, the greatest attendance officer. So, Ms. Martin, it's all yours. And we do appreciate you very much and all the work that you do.
Thank you.
That's right. Come on, you gotta stand up.
I got it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Ms. Martin. I wanna tell you all how we got here. I ended up working the whole county for about to February of this year right here. So me and the other crew, they're not here, they have a game or something in Macomb. So we got together and decided that we wanted to do a unity in the community where we combine everybody. Where Dr. J, ADA looks good, we want everybody to look good. So we came up with this to give our plaque. Just say if Miss Wilson win for the month of October, and then she lose in November, and we give it to Dr. Taplin, Ms. Taplin, and we just keep passing it on to whoever have it the most win it at the end of the year. So I think the high school, Mr. Collins was the one that won it in May, the plaque. So what we did after they got the plaque, we went about each school a trophy. So I just grateful and blessed to announce that North Pike Elementary was the one that won this trophy.
Okay.
They won it several times, just be consistent with it. So they won it the most. So I would like to present this to North Pike Elementary. Come on, and on behalf of the unity in the community, it's a love token that we would like to give to, I can give this to Mr. Anderson tomorrow. Ms. Travis, thank you for everything you do. When I call and where you all day, every day.
She says it.
Miss Christie. Miss Christie, thank you for my out of school suspension, of calling and making sure you got this, you got that. But not least, not when me and how I'm gonna say it, how I'm saying, I gotta say it funny about her. Dr. J's wife.
I get her a gift card.
I got a little tired talking right there because we be joking. I told them a while ago, I said, y'all ain't gonna believe I forgot the trophy. But I wanna present it to Miss Smith. She was so helpful in helping me, and these young ladies helping me with attendance. and we would like to continue to keep doing it again this year.
Mhm.
We're gonna start in September this year and keep it going, try to keep it going. And I appreciate y'all for putting up with me.
Thank you. Can you stand up with them? Mr. Collins, why do you stand up? Get out the way, man. Let them have their moment.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, get that to you wine.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Thank you.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, that carries us, Mr. White, to new business. We do have two bid openings tonight. First bid we'll open will be 648, hunting and fishing, 236.18 acres, 648. We only have one bid, and it is the current leaseholder. And the bid is for $15 an acre. Bidder's name Wayne Bird. And that does meet the minimum requirement of $14 an acre. Mr. Bird is present. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's you. All right, so the recommendation is for $15 an acre for 1648, 236.18 acres to Mr. and Miss Wayne Bird.
Is that, what did they have it for last time? Was it same
Do you
amount?
recall what you had it for last
I
time?
honestly don't remember.
I-
I just did what my husband told me to.
I know that we did up the minimum to
Okay.
$14, so it would have been below
That's fair
that.
enough, yeah.
All right, so you hear the recommendation, we only had one bid, and that's for 1648, hunting fishing lease, 236.18 acres at $15 per acre. Do we have a motion to accept this bid?
Motion to accept the bid for 1648 hunting and fishing lease, 236.18 acres at $15 an acre.
All right, I have a motion, do we have a second?
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. The next bid is for 1649. It is also hunting and fishing for 158.6 acres. We also have only one bidder tonight, and that is from Wayne Reed in the amount of $14 per acre, and $14 was the minimum required bid. So that's before the board tonight, and Mr. Reed is here, so the recommendation is to accept the $14 per acre for 1649, 158.60 acres.
All right, any questions? All right, we just had the one bid for 1649 for 158.6 acres at 14 an acre. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the bid 1649 hunting and fishing lease 158.60 acres at $14 per acre.
All right, we have a second?
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you. That brings us to letter C, resignations. You have those before the board, so the recommendation.
Y'all are welcome to stay, but you're
Yes, I'm
also
sorry.
welcome to
Thank
go,
you.
so.
Sorry. Not that we don't love you, but.
All right, thank you. Letter C, recommendations for resignations. That's before the board.
All right, do we have a motion that we accept, item C, resignations?
Motion to accept, item C, resignations.
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you very much. Next item, letter D. You have a few recommendations there for employment. That's before the board. And,
Let me see.
and just to make a note, that also does include the $2,000 special education teacher supplement. That is before you as well. On that same recommendation.
All right, do I have a motion that we accept, item D, recommendations?
Motion we accept item D recommendation.
Second?
All right, all in favor? All right.
Aye.
All right, thank you. That brings us to letter E. I'm gonna read this entire recommendation, and Ms. Pyatt is here if you have any questions regarding this. Superintendent recommends approval of the State of Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services contract modification 1 to the memorandum of understanding between Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services and Southwest. Ms. Richardson, did you say you
Yeah, I
wanted
think
to
I
stop by?
shared his.
Okay. And Southwest Regional Medical Center to add North Pike School District as a party to the MOU effective July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029 for the purpose of high school project search transition program for a maximum of 12 students to foster and facilitate jobs for people with disabilities. Ms. Plaggett, would you like to say a word about that before they vote?
We've got a couple of kiddos that if this is approved, they'll be in the program. They made the cut this past year for it, so we're super excited about that. That gives our students with disabilities the opportunity to go have job internship training. And we're grateful that Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center is supporting 50% of the salary, in conjunction with the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services of the teacher.
All right. I've known several that have, or some that have participated in this in the past. It's been a really good program. So we have a motion to, approve the recommendation, letter E under new business.
Motion to approve the recommendation, letter E.
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're ready.
Okay, this brings us to item F. The superintendent recommends approval of MOU with the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District to house a career coach for the North Pike School District for 26-27 school year. This is at no cost to the district. These career coaches, I think, may be in their second or third year of implementation across the state, and we have not had one in the previous years, so the funding was there. And Mr. Collins accepted this maybe 2 or 3 months ago, so that's before you to put a career coach at the high school and as well as the junior high. I believe they work with the junior high students as well.
So there would be two different coaches?
No, sir, it's just one.
Just
I
one,
believe
work with both
They
places.
start with the 8th graders, if
Gotcha.
I'm not mistaken.
All right, you hear the recommendation from the superintendent. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the recommendation from the superintendent to house a career coach for the high school and the junior high.
Second?
All right, all in
One
favor?
question.
Okay,
Is this a full-time
It
coach?
is.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Any other? All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
All right, thank you. This brings us to letter G. The superintendent recommends the approval of a service contract with Synergetics to provide third-party technology service for the district. This is in the 2027 budget that you approved, same contract as last year, same company. Also, just a side note, Mr. Young has been interviewing, I think, with Mr. Hallmark.
Yes, sir.
Several candidates for the position that we have in his department. So again, this is in addition to that position, which is in the budget, so that's before you.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the recommendation for a service contract with Synergetics to provide third-party technology services for the district?
Motion to accept, the recommendation for service contract with Synergetics to provide third-party technology service for the district.
Second?
All right, motion and second. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. This brings us to letter H. Superintendent recommends fiscal year 27 federal programs consolidated budget. This is Mr. Collins' first budget presented to you. So if you have any questions, he's here to answer those. Mr. Collins, do you have anything you would like to say about that? Being this is your first one? No, nothing, all right. Basically, but the language is the same primarily from years previous, not any major budget items on there that's changed, I don't think.
Like it's, one thing, it's about 151,587 less than last year. Mainly Title V, we hadn't received it yet. Ms. Stacy's here, so she's helping me with that. We haven't received that, so that was like 72,458. And then there was a slight, decrease in the Title II, can't read my notes here. But other than that, we are still in the center.
All right, you hear the recommendation from the superintendent to accept the, federal programs consolidated budget. Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept the consolidated budget.
Second?
All right, motion and second. Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Aye.
All right, thank you. The next several items, Tina will, address those. The first item is, recommendation of transfer of funds. Ms. Griffin?
Okay, so, transfer of funds, the first one is $160,000. That was in the budget that we were gonna send from the building fund to the district maintenance for the football stadium pavement project, so I'm making that transfer since we're at the point of being completed with that project. The second one is $132,450. If you remember, we put that in the budget right last minute because of that sped bus. So this is transferring the money, so we go ahead and purchase that bus and get it headed this way. The next two has to do with, Mr. Collins's federal budget. In the federal budget, they approved, to transfer Title II funds worth $105,000 to Title I. Usually they do that because Title I has less stringent rules and, you can use it for more things in Title I, so that's been approved in his budget. So we're moving $105,000. There's also $63,401 in Title IV-A federal funds. We're also moving those to Title I per his budget. And so that's the four transfers before you tonight.
All right, you've heard the explanation for the transfer of funds. Do we have a motion that we approve this?
Motion to approve the transfer of funds.
Second?
All right, motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
All right, thank you very much. The next item, is the ad valorem request for 26-27.
Okay, the one you have in your packet has been replaced this afternoon after being withdrawn with the courthouse most of the day. So, I'm passing this out. We are required every year to request this by August 15th, which makes us have it ready for our August board meeting, which is tonight. We didn't, y'all have seen in the paper, they've been, assessed valuations have skyrocketed in Pike County. They did address that at their board meeting there. For North Pike School District, our assessed valuation went up about 13 million. It's never gone up that high since I've been here. And our new growth that I got today was 9 million. So this request, if you wanna compare the one I already gave you to this one, you'll see that, that new property went from an estimate of 75,000 to an actual of 498,000. And that's supposedly just on new property. So that should be what we can get without having to raise the millage rate. So, that's our biggest increase right there. I don't know what caused it. I do have a detailed list and I see some houses and things like that. But in the aggregate, it was 9 million assessed valuation, and the taxes on that is about 498,000. That should be collected on that property that for North Pike, and we should get that. Once again, I have to ask the courthouse, what dollar amount can I ask for to not exceed 55 meals? And they gave me the figure today, and I stayed right below it, because there are limits of how high we can go on our request. So, right now, if we get the number if we get what we could ask for, they put it at 54.96 meals, and this is gonna be a little bit lower than that. Last year, we were 53.85, so I'm looking at this to be about 54 meals. So once again, we are still below 55 cap, which has been the desire of the board. I did add a disclaimer at the bottom of this to let them know, that our intent with this dollar amount is to take advantage of all the new property, but not to exceed 55 mills, meaning we don't want the new property to affect our millage, and it's not supposed to, and they do understand that, but I wanted to add that disclaimer this year to the ad valorem request. So, like I said, we are not in a reappraisal year, so it wasn't reappraising property. They said it was just growth in Pike County. And it's no industry, so.
So it would have to be growth within our district as well, because we don't receive that valorem from the other districts. So I'm trying to figure out.
Well, they reassessed property values last year, is that what was affecting this year's?
They do reassess, do a reappraisal, and it could. 9 million?
I know, that's what I was
That's a
thinking,
lot.
so.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that the Exxon thing is, production has started up too, and I'm wondering how much of impact that may have on it, but, I mean, that's.
she did a
I'm happy.
presentation at the live board meeting, so you're welcome to listen to the live presentation, because there was a lot of questions at that board meeting as well. And she did go over some, Miss Allen did go over some things at the Board of Supervisors board meeting. Will we get this amount? I don't know, we didn't last year, remember, we could have issued a shortfall. So, but we'll be watching this closely, next year I'll do that calculation again and see where we stand and what we got.
So if we get it, when do they send it to the district?
Okay, so their year is October 1st to September 30th, when
Right.
ours is the fiscal year, July to June. So they'll set the tax levy, at their board meeting, probably the September, I'm really guessing there,
Mhm.
cause I don't know what, now that it would be the September board meeting. And they'll start assessing this, and we should be getting it, between September and, September 1st, October 1st to September 30th, sorry.
Do they do a lump sum or do they,
Oh, no.
they
We
give it to us
get
in
monthly-
increments, right?
We get monthly payments.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
If you look on your financial statements that's in your packet, ad valorem is actually by itself. You maybe not noticed that, but you can see ad valorem, we collected, our biggest collection is in February. In February, I feel like we need to take security with us to the courthouse to pick it up. Cause it is a large settlement, cause that's when everybody
That
pays
should
their
pay
taxes.
taxes, yeah.
Yes, so the rest of it's just filtering along, and the big pot is usually on the February settlement. So it's monthly, and like I said, they allow us to look at it on a fiscal year to see if there's gonna be a shortfall, like we did this year, and we'll do that again next year.
So in real simple terms here, we have the opportunity or the chance to be able to get more money than we have in the past without asking for a millage increase or a tax increase.
We should, the only thing that you'll see on this sheet, the only thing you'll see that is considered a tax increase is that 4%, which is $193,047. The rest of this stuff, they should give us without an increase. But the 4%, I put it on there because I needed that to get close to 55 mills. And most of that's because we were short last year. Short is what we had collected at the top. So it's almost like I'm trying to recoup the 200 back that you were saying.
Right.
You're allowed to do 4%. This is just our request, but you're allowed to do 4% if you advertise twice. You're allowed to do 7% if you do a referendum. So we put the 4% on here to get closer to the 55 than we were last year. So yes, that is a true analysis of it. None of this should cause an increase except that 200,000 right there. And it wouldn't be, like I said, individually on taxpayers, it wouldn't be much.
Any other questions? All right, let me get back to my.
Jay?
Yeah, do I have a motion that we accept the recommendation for the Avalon request for 26-27.
Motion to accept the Avalon request for the 2026 and 2027.
Second.
All right, motion and a second, all in favor? Aye.
All right, thank you. Item K is just the resolution that you just voted on. It just places in wording that will get to the courthouse, so that's before you as well.
Okay, basically what we just talked about, placed into words. Do we have a motion that we accept?
Motion to accept.
All right, we have a
Second.
second. All right, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right, thank you. That brings us to, item L, the desegregation stipulation, for review. I do have, one of our attorneys, waiting for a phone call that I'll put on speaker, just in case you have any questions. We ready to proceed with that?
I think so.
Okay, and again, as far as I know, he's not gonna ask for any vote tonight. This is just for review for your questions, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, first, I think I called and asked about it,
Okay.
because I wasn't sure. I remember some time ago, and I don't know, Tina, if you can remember how long ago it was. I think it was Jamie and I.
It was 9 years ago,
It was a 9?
between 8 and 9 years, yeah. It was, I was fairly new.
There was discussion about whether or not we should come from under the DSEG order, because several of the schools were still under it. And I don't know how much conversation, I couldn't remember how much conversation we had as to whether or not we should. Because my question was, okay, what's the purpose of us staying under it or coming from under it? How it's going to affect North Pike Consolidated School District? And that was one of the things, after reading this, that's why I called you and asked you about it.
Right. And I didn't, of course, didn't have an answer for that, so,
And everybody else needed to understand
all right, so.
what they want from us as well, so.
Well, did you get an answer? Did you call?
Oh, no, that's
Oh.
where he's gonna.
I got you.
I did, I
I
called.
misunderstood. I
Yeah.
thought you said you talked to someone.
Oh,
She and I talked, and then I called the attorney and asked
Okay.
if he would be available.
cause I think like we all needed to hear.
Yeah,
what
just
the
getting to
attorney said.
explain to us what this
Okay.
means for us.
Hey, good evening, John. This is Jay Smith, North Pike School District. I do have you on speaker with, 5 board members, a couple of people in the audience. And we just, would like an explanation, of the desegregation order, the advantages of staying under it or coming out from under it. Could you help us a little bit?
Sure can, I'd be happy to. So at this point in time, we have been having conversations with the Department of Justice about the possibility of moving beyond the desegregation order. As y'all know, this is an order that's been in place for the past 65 years or so, so it's been around quite a while, and school districts across Mississippi have just been working hard to move out from under the orders for various reasons. And in this instance, we have an opportunity, I think, to really move out from under the order because of a decision that came out about 2 months ago from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which enables school districts now who do not have private plaintiffs in their case to move for decision under Rule 41 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, which essentially is a much more streamlined process than existed before. So it would just require an agreement by the board and an agreement by the Department of Justice and essentially signing off on the agreed order, and that's it. So it is something we highly recommended all school districts that are still under the desegregation orders to move forward in accomplishing. I think it would send a message to everybody in a positive way that the district's complied with the orders and is prepared now to move forward and to have the orders dissolved. And I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have about that process or the question of whether the district should do that or not, or any aspect of it.
John, this is Etta Taplin. Okay, can you just tell us a little bit about, the order? I know you said it's been around since after, the schools became, from under segregation. what was the purpose and why should we consider, leaving, coming from under the order? Or why should we consider staying under the order?
Well, that's a great question. So the orders, that were adopted back in the late 1960s, early 1970s, focused on principally 5 different areas of school operations. Those had to do with making sure that the schools themselves were not existing either, as a separate school system for white students and a separate school system for black students, that they were what they call a unitary system that was not designed for students of a particular race, one or the other. And that it was moving forward on the path of integrating student enrollment. That was a central aspect of all of the decrees, including the one for our district here for North Pike. So in terms of looking at the central aspect of it, it would be student assignment. Then the second aspect they looked at was faculty assignment. They didn't want faculty to be placed in schools by race, and that of course had been the case back in the 1960s. And we want the faculty to be distributed around without regard to race. So students, faculty, transportation was another aspect of it. The question was, is transportation desegregated? Extracurricular activities was a big part of that. And then finally, the facilities. Are the facilities more or less comparable throughout a school district? So here, I think everybody, on the board can be reassured that, the school system is not operating the dual school system where there's essentially one school system for black students and one school system for white students. It's now, a unitary system and has been for quite some time. And so the advantage would be to send a signal that, this is a district that's unitary and has complied with these orders that have been in existence for a very long time. And B, to not have the reporting requirements that you have to file certain documents, with the court, from time to time, wouldn't have that obligation. And you also would just be released from federal court supervision going forward. And if you wanted to, if the board wanted to make changes in school configuration, you wanted to consider, if it came to it, a consolidation of different school buildings or adding on to school buildings and that kind of thing, you would be able to do that as a board, and you would not need to seek approval from the Department of Justice to accomplish that. So those would be the big objectives in it. The other thing I would add too is that I think with so many school districts being dismissed from these orders, frankly, I don't know that I would want to be one of the remaining ones under the few existing desegregation orders that will be out there in the next 5 or 10 years. There'll just be a smaller and smaller number. When I first started working with desegregation decrees about 30 years ago, there were 150 left throughout the United States, and now that number has fallen dramatically. So at one point there were 80 left and 70 left. There's probably, if I had to guess, somewhere around 60, and that number is just falling by the day. So it's definitely the trend to just show that the districts comply with the order. Now, some of y'all might have a question, because this has been on the mind of school boards across Mississippi that are still subject to desegregation orders and deciding what to do. Is there a benefit from staying under the order? And honestly, I have really looked into it. I don't see a benefit. Some school districts think that there might be some way that if school choice is enacted, that the desegregation order would protect the district from some aspects of school choice. I really don't know that that's going to be a dramatic help to a school district under desegregation order. I can't really see how it makes a meaningful impact. Or could it prevent school consolidation in some way? And I don't know that it would really help with that either. And a good
Do we know how many in the state of Mississippi, how many school districts are still under the DSAC order?
That's a good question. At one point, it was about 35, and I think that number has come down to probably around 24 of them. And that number's getting smaller every day. And, you know, y'all might have read recently, the Rankin County School District was declared unitary and its order was dissolved last week. And that was the largest school district in Mississippi that was still subject to a desegregation decree. And it's, well, I guess that's correct, it was the largest one. And so that one has gone away. And then some of the districts that were, continue to be under the DSA orders are availing themselves of this Rule 41 process. And I think we'll see in the next few weeks, probably another dozen of them dismissed. So, you know, probably by, you know, within the next 90 days to, let's say, 150 days from now, somewhere in there, you'll probably see that number of about 24 fall to maybe a dozen remaining. So it's definitely the trend to kind of move beyond the decrees. Even some districts that were kind of on the bubble of what they decided to do, I think most of them have decided to move forward. There are a couple that still want to hold on for various reasons. And I think those will probably stay around for a while. But most of them, the trend is definitely to move, to have them dismissed.
So what is it that the board needs to do now?
Well, if you all are interested in moving forward and filing the Rule 41 motion, take a vote on it. That would be what I would suggest you do, and go ahead and authorize us to submit that agreement. And then we will file it, and your desegregation order will be dismissed.
Okay. Those were
And
my
that's
questions.
something I highly recommend you do. And you will just be beyond it, because there's always a danger at some point in the future that a reconstituted Justice Department will come back and, you know, begin looking through a variety of different data points and so on, and just kind of begin to drill down deep on those desegregation orders that are left, looking for all sorts of things that may be, you know, in your district that have to do, let's just say, with quality of education or student discipline or those kinds of things that have not traditionally been part of the desegregation order, but that might become sort of engrafted onto a desegregation order. That would be my, you know, my fear of staying under a desegregation order if I were on the school board.
Is that something we need to do? I mean, is it a rush, or can we do it in our next meeting? Because we didn't have it on our agenda to do it tonight. I mean,
Oh, you could do it in your next meeting,
okay,
absolutely.
all right.
All right.
And if you have any questions meanwhile, don't hesitate to just let me know, and I'll try to get you more information or answer any other questions or concerns you might have, or if anything comes up between now and your next meeting, just let me know. I'd be happy to walk you through any of the answers I can get for you.
Hey, thank you, John. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank
All
you.
right. Y'all have a good night.
You too, bye-bye.
All right.
So I'd like to request that we, put this item on the agenda for the next board meeting to be discussed and voted on. So we'd take no action tonight, so I guess we're ready to move on to superintendent's items for discussion.
All right, thank you. Just a couple things tonight. I do want to give you an enrollment update and a brief accountability update if I could. Really no need to just go through the numbers. This is as of 8/4/26. You'll see that we are up in enrollment compared to this time last year. I think the reason for that is we had more registration days. So I don't think in the end we're gonna grow that amount of students. I just think that we've done a better job of having more opportunities for kids to register. So those are your numbers. The only thing that I was really concerned about, I'm not concerned about it, but the first thing that I looked at, of course, were the 5th and 6th grade numbers, because you know we've been operating with 7 teachers instead of 8. So those numbers still look really good there. And if you just do your simple division, you'd get your student to teacher pupil ratio, which we're well within, where we need to be on that. But again, compared to a year, this time last year, we are up, a few students. Okay, I'll have a more detailed enrollment for you. This is gonna change, of course, quite a bit. It's gonna go up and down between now and September, so I'll bring it back to you in September as well.
Are they still registering every day?
Yes, they're registering every day. We're also losing kids every day. So we're getting, we're getting, you know, record requests, things like that from other school districts. So it's kind of balancing out. But we'll, I'll say we'll probably end around 2,000 district-wide. We're about 2,000, 2,100, you know, at the end of May. So I definitely do not see a great increase moving forward. Any questions on that enrollment? Let me just give you a couple of slides here from our latest ND meeting. I won't say a whole lot about this because we've not received any test score data other than individual student data. I do just want to bring to your attention, make a few reminders, and then I also have in the packet what we calculated in terms of test scores. Just as a reminder, U.S. history is no longer a part of the 25-26 accountability. The readiness index is where we're really confused. Mr. Collins and I have talked about that multiple times. Really confused about how to calculate that by hand, so we just basically stayed away from it at the high school, and we're just really unsure about that. The English learner progress, that really will not apply to us because we don't have enough students in that category to make a difference for us. The next page there is just bring your attention, the preliminary accountability results will be out sometime between August 17th and September 20th. The board does not meet until August the 20th, so I don't anticipate getting anything until after August the 20th. That's when we will get our scores from MD, where our growth has been calculated and our percentages of proficiencies are there. We've been doing that by hand, and I do have that for you, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. Also a little talk going on about whether or not we may be held harmless in some areas. That kind of resurfaced. I've not been in those conversations. I've just been hearing things, so I don't know where ND is on that. Do you have any idea, Ms. Tapp?
There's been a lot of chatter, from the state superintendent concerning it, and I'm suspecting that's coming from some of the larger districts that their scores dropped, possibly. So, we're just kind of waiting to see, since there was no appetite for hold harmless.
Well, so that may benefit us. Well, I guess if it's hold harmless, then it benefits everybody. But,
It is.
Again, just as a reminder, if you recall this, the big issue has always been around language arts and reading. This year, the writing sample or the writing portion did not count. So they're trying to figure out a way how to show growth from this year to last year when there was a writing sample. All right, so they're trying to correlate that and make that fair. The problem that you're gonna have is you're gonna have that again next year, because next year the writing sample will count, and then you're gonna be trying to show growth from this year where it didn't count. So I'm just gonna leave it at that and not get off into a negative tirade there, but I will just say that it has caused some concern. So we'll see where that goes in the coming weeks. Just as soon as we have that preliminary data, I'll shoot you a text, let you know how that's looking, and then be ready to make that presentation to you. The next slide is just a reminder of the elementary and middle school points for 25 and 26 and where those come from. You've seen that quite a bit over the years. The next is high school and districts. This is the change. The readiness index is kind of what's, we've just kind of stayed away from trying to figure that out altogether. The next page is the new cuts, A through F letter grade. You'll see my handwriting there in the left-hand corner of those boxes. That's the old grade. So for example, you now need to be at 457 at the elementary level, Last year, that would have been 442, and then so on and so forth. So I just wanted you to have that as we get talking about this in coming weeks. So you'll see where those scores have changed. The next slide, the big thing here is just to stress the point that 2025-26 grades cannot be compared to grades for previous years. That's because of change in the model. And so there was some pleading going on to hold everyone harmless. That kind of fell on deaf ears. So now that discussion is up and running again. And again, that's all I know on that. So we'll wait and see where we come out. The last page, I won't mention anything openly about that, but I just want to tell you what we've done by hand. Just as an example, you'll see where we have the lower, the upper, the junior high, by reading proficiency, math proficiency. 25 is the actual number. That is a good number. For example, 59.5 at the lower math proficiency last year. The number below that would be what we've hand calculated for this year, just simply doing it by hand. I have that for each grade level, not each grade level, but each school. And then of course on the second page, you'll see, I do want to point this out, the science proficiency. You see where that was in 25. We talked a lot about that and how that hurt us district-wide. And you'll see what we're hand calculating there. Okay, so anyway, those are the numbers, and that's basically all we know, and some of that's a guess. So if you'll just be patient with us, as soon as we get it, we will definitely make sure that you know where we are. And we're done kind of hand calculating at this point. We're just waiting. So it doesn't do us a whole lot of good sitting and dig ahead of this wall and try to figure it out. So we've got that issue, and then whether or not we're gonna be held harmless or what have you. So don't know where that conversation goes. The next item is just the 16th section visitation update. I do believe that you guys got in the text message. Maybe Ms. Tappan, I don't think I'm dreaming this. Ms. Tappan may have thought I was in it, so we just need to set that date. I think in our last meeting, we said that y'all had set it. Is that correct? And Ms.
That was
Mark's not here.
October 22nd,
Okay.
is that right?
So is that what we're going with?
I think, let me look at my calendar.
October what?
Hold on, I'll tell you just a second. Let me get the calendar. Yeah, October 22nd is what we said.
Okay, 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we
All right.
said at 9, you talked about 9 o'clock.
We were gonna try to do it like from 9 to 1,
Mhm.
after routes and before routes. Do we wanna vote on that, being that all 5 of you will be together?
We can,
You wanna do that just to be safe?
we can.
Okay, so the recommendation is for a 16th section, visitation for, the board on October 22nd, beginning at 9 and ending somewhere around 1.
All right, you hear the recommendation from superintendent. We have a motion.
Motion to, accept the recommendation for the 16th section visitation update October 22nd from 9 a.m. to around 1 p.m.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's all I have for you, Mr. White.
All right, thank you. We do have an executive session, to discuss superintendent search, so, I need a motion that we close the general session. Do I have a motion?
Motion to close general session.
All right.
Second.
Do I have a motion to consider going into executive session for, to discuss superintendent search?